If your year hasn't gone to plan so far, same. Today we're gonna fix that. In today's video, we're gonna restart our year, get back into alignment, reset our goals and our life, and work out a plan to achieve more faster. I'm gonna explain the concept of a 16-week or 4-month year and how we can use it to achieve more in the same amount of time. I'm giving everyone a free downloadable Notion workbook with all the prompts that we'll be walking through today. That'll be linked in the description. While you're grabbing that, just keep this video playing in the background, and I'm gonna be explaining why we're doing this and explain some of the benefits of breaking your year up into smaller pieces. And once you have that downloaded and ready to go, we are going to walk through this entire planning session together, and I'm going to be sharing my goals, the things I'm working on as well, so you can hear some examples and maybe get inspired. So you may have heard of the 12-week year, and you may be wondering, what's the 16-week year? How is that different? It's not really different. Back when I still worked my corporate job, I felt like quarters went by in the blink of an eye before I even had any time to make progress on anything. So now I work for myself and nobody is telling me what to do. And I've decided I'm going to split my year into 3 pieces, 3 tiny years in one, if you will. So by the way, Happy New Year, because I'm considering this my new year. Part of the reason I'm making this, if I'm being honest, is because I really need to do this, and making this video is kind of holding me accountable. I really hope that you don't just watch this video and not do the planning session with me. I hope at the very least you can pause the video after each prompt and spend a few seconds or minutes thinking about these prompts so we can do it together. So why would we break the year into 3 parts? That's a great question. I am so glad you asked. The middle problem is a phenomenon where essentially we feel the most motivated at the beginning and the end of goal pursuit. In the middle, we tend to feel kind of bored and unmotivated. I mean, so many people don't end up achieving their New Year's goals, and I think this is a huge part of the reason why. A year is a long time, and we're missing that sense of urgency to kind of kick things into gear and finish things out for most of the year. So the shorter we can make our time horizons on our goals, the less time we end up spending in the middle. Don't come at me and say, well, every goal should be 1 second long then. Like, let's be reasonable, but something to think about. Also, our goals change. I change so much within a year that it feels almost worthless to set goals for a whole year when I have no idea the person I'm gonna be in 6 months. Life can get busy and we can get off track. It happens, but the more often we check in, the easier it is for us to catch ourselves falling off track and realign and get back into the habits, routines, tasks that we need to be doing to get closer to our goals. If we can catch ourselves early, that is always a good thing. The last benefit of breaking the year into chunks is that it gives us kind of like that New Year's energy more often. I don't know about you, but I'm obsessed with New Year's. I just feel so refreshed and excited and energized at the start of the year, and I want to bring that feeling into my life as much as possible. So creating these, although somewhat arbitrary milestones throughout the year, if that can give me that extra boost of energy, for me, it's totally worth it. I hope you have your Notion template downloaded and ready to go. If not, no worries. You can just write this in a Word document, in your notes, on a journal, like physical piece of paper, whatever you want. The first thing we're gonna do in the reset is reflect. So the very first prompt is in the first 4 months of 2024, or you could say in the last 4 months, whatever time of year or whenever you're watching this, what were the key milestones? This can be personal, professional, with relationships, financial, like really anything in your life that you feel like was a big moment. For what it's worth, I'm gonna share my responses and the things that I have written for each of these prompts, but there's no one size fits all. You can kind of use these prompts however you would like and however they can best serve you. My milestones were that I lost 10 pounds. If you've been following my channel, you know that I've been on a fat loss journey for like the last 12 months. And in the last few months, I feel like I've finally gotten things down and started to really accelerate my results, which I'm super excited about because I'm ready to be done losing fat and get into maintenance. I also gained 260 subscribers, which I am super excited about, very grateful for. I posted 9 long form videos on YouTube and 9 shorts as well, which I'm not super happy with. I am proud of the videos I posted, but I wanted to post more, which we'll talk about a lot later when we get to the rest of the prompts. I launched my small group coaching community, Radiant Health and Fitness, which is actually linked down below if you want to check it out. For Radiant, I wrote 3 workout programs, created several different Notion templates and downloadables. I created lots of videos, challenges, and fun stuff that goes on in the community. And I also was a lot more consistent with Instagram stories. I personally love watching Instagram stories, so if you do too, you might want to follow me. I post a lot of Instagram stories. And that's all for me in these last few months. Let's get into the next prompt. What were your top 3 achievements over the last 4 months? So again, this can be in any area, anything that you're proud of, and it can be big or small. As long as it's meaningful to you, it totally counts. So for me, my top achievements were losing 10 pounds, launching Radiant, and investing a lot in my YouTube content. You can't see it, but I actually got a new mic, and I've been learning a lot more about my camera, my audio, my editing. I've been experimenting with a lot of different stuff for my videos, and I think that they've improved significantly. I hope that's reading on the other side. If you're not into videos as much, then maybe you wouldn't have noticed. Now we're gonna jot down the top 3 challenges we faced over the last 4 months. So for me, the first one was staying consistent with my YouTube schedule. I have created posting goals so many times and I've never stuck to them once. I came pretty close in December of 2023. I did 25 days of fitness and I think I wanted to post 12 long videos. I ended up posting 10 or 11 and I think 25 shorts was my goal and I think I hit like 24. But otherwise, I have set so many posting goals and consistency goals behind the scenes that I've never been able to stick to, and I am so sick of it, which we will talk about more later. My next challenge was staying consistent with fat loss, especially at events. Maybe you've experienced this, but it can be really hard to stick to your nutrition plan when you are at parties or events or dinners or you're out with friends or family or holidays or whatever. I actually did pretty good around Christmas. I was happy with where I was at with that. Like, I had a good balance. My birthday was good, but randomly I will go out to brunch or dinner with like friends, my boyfriend or whoever, just kind of like go nuts and go like really far off my plan, which is fine. But personally for me, one of my goals is to make that planned and intentional. So I want to like go into the dinner saying like, I want to enjoy myself, go full out, have a diet break and go for it. When it's impulsive and unintentional, that is where I feel like it's not great for me anyway. The last challenge and probably the biggest one has been that I am not earning an income from YouTube still. I left my full-time corporate tech job probably 7 months ago, or maybe 8 at this point. And I knew that I would spend some amount of time without earning an income from YouTube while I tried to grow my channel and my revenue streams and things like that. But the longer that period of time goes on, the more difficult it gets in terms of like financial stress, but also just like mentally, it's very challenging. And that's something I didn't really expect. I expected it to be challenging, but I didn't expect it to be this stressful for me, honestly. And I don't want anyone to feel bad for me. Like, this is what I chose. I knew what I was doing. I'm okay. Everything's okay. As of right now, I make about $50 a month from AdSense. I'm super grateful to make that amount. Like, it's not nothing and it definitely helps, but certainly not enough to sustain me. And obviously that's something I need to be doing at some point. So now we're gonna get into what are our top 3 learnings from the last 4 months. My first one is to get straight out of bed and stay off my phone. I started doing this, man, it might've been a month ago now, maybe longer, and it has changed my life. Essentially, you can spike your dopamine and kind of decrease the amount you have available for the rest of the day if you get on your phone straight in the morning. So I finally have trained myself out of going on my phone right when I wake up, and I am so much more focused and productive and happy throughout the entire day if I can just stay off my phone right when I wake up. It's like the best thing I've ever done. So if you're looking for a goal or a new habit to build, I highly recommend that, almost more than like any other productivity habit I've ever tried. It's that good. My next learning is how essential daily and weekly planning are. I feel so dumb that I didn't start setting weekly goals as well as doing like daily time blocking and planning sooner. It's so simple, but it's so effective. My last learning is that productive procrastination isn't actually productive. Back when I was in college, I would deep clean my house every finals week to procrastinate on studying. It's weird because I'll be like, oh, that was so productive. Like, I did all the dishes or worked on a YouTube script, whatever it is. But I realized if I am using that thing to put off something else, it is not beneficial at all, even if that thing I'm doing would normally be productive. Our last question for the reflection section is, how have your habits, routines, and actions aligned with your goals over the last 4 months? Thinking especially about where we did well and where things may not have been aligned. So I'm just gonna be like super honest and transparent here and give myself a little bit of tough love, and hopefully it'll encourage you to also give yourself a little bit of tough love, because I think we all need that sometimes. We just talked about my productive procrastination issues, and I have definitely been doing that with editing. And I think it's the part of my video creation process where I have the most holdups and I stall the most. And I really think it's been negatively impacting my ability to be consistent with my videos. There have also been quite a few times that I've kind of fallen off my nutrition goals at events or parties, dinners, etc. If I am not able to enjoy time with people I love and reach my goals, then that's just a terrible situation, because I don't want to reach my goals without ever hanging out with my boyfriend or my friends. And I don't want to hang out with them all the time and then have that be the reason I don't reach my goals. So I know I need to figure out a way for them to coexist a little bit more, but I think it's about kind of, I don't know, I have some bad habits to break in that area. In terms of things I've done well at, I've done decently well at my nutrition goals overall. For me, it's easier to stick to exercise than nutrition. The nutrition part is where things get tricky for my fat loss goals specifically. I haven't been perfect, but I've been doing pretty well, so I'm happy with that. And I want to kind of just just stay on that same path while addressing the kind of special occasions thing we just talked about. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm proud of how I've pushed myself to experiment, get more creative, learn new things about video, the whole video creation process over the last few months. Okay, let's get into our next section, reset. The first prompt is, what changes do you want to make in the next 4 months? And what actions or habits do you want to leave behind? One of my favorite things about New Year's is deciding at some point before the new year that there is a habit that I want to get rid of, literally leaving it in the previous year. So waking up the following year on New Year's and never doing that thing again. I know that we can do that any day of the year, but there's something about marking this fresh start, whether it's a Monday, the start of the month, the start of the trimester, like we're talking about in this video. It's like really nice to have that marker that we set for ourselves and let that marker be powerful and let that marker have a positive impact, you know, like use it to our advantage. So in the next 4 months, I want to go to bed earlier. I like waking up early. I like seeing the sunrise in the morning. I like doing things earlier in the day. I'm a morning person once I've gotten up. When I first woke up, I'm like not happy. But once I've like laid in bed for 10 minutes, then I'm vibing and I enjoy the mornings. I really want to drink more water. I was doing really well at it. A few months ago and I've kind of fallen off a little bit. It makes me feel a lot more energized when I'm hydrated and I need that. I mean, I think we all need a little bit more energy, honestly. So I want to do better at staying focused during the day. My ultimate goal is stay off all social media until 5 p.m. For me, it's just a distraction. And once I get on, it's so hard to stop. Once I start scrolling, I'm always like, oh, I'm just going to take a 5-minute break and relax a little bit. And then next thing you know, it's been 45 minutes. So I think for me, I just need to stay off of it completely. I want to start time tracking and time blocking every single day. I've been testing it out for the last like month or so, but I want to be really consistent about it and continue doing it because I found it so beneficial. I want to continue not scrolling in the morning and I want to be really intense about this, like not even opening my phone. In the past week, I've probably gone on a few mornings and checked my email and done stuff that like isn't social media, so it's not as bad, but I think it still has a negative impact. In terms of things I want to leave behind, I would like to stop procrastinating my workouts. I would way rather wake up in the morning and say, okay, I feel creative right now. I want to work until 1 p.m. and then I'm going to do my workout at 1. That feels very different to me than waking up and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to do the dishes. Now I'm going to clean the kitchen. I'm going to do laundry. And then I just end up doing it late in the day. I'm less motivated. I'm like hungry and grumpy. It's like a bad situation. So I just want to be intentional about when I decide to do it and not use random chores and random stuff to procrastinate. And I also want to leave behind productive procrastination in general, but the gym is probably one of the big ones. And then I also do that with editing. So if I can stop doing it for those 2 big things, that would be like so transformative. So we're going to think about what are our top 1 to 3 goals that we want to focus on for the next 4 months. One way that I really love thinking about this is imagining yourself 4 months from now. What would you want to be celebrating? I try as hard as possible to tune out the noise of what everyone else wants, what's popular, what's not popular, and think about my vision for my life and my dream version of myself like 10, 15, or even 20 years from now, and think about what are the steps I have to take now to help me get closer to that person. So if our goals are not aligned with our long-term vision, then they are, I don't want to say worthless, but like we don't need to do that. We don't have time for goals that are not aligned with our dream life. For the next 4 months, I'm focusing on only 2 goals, and that's because I want to actually achieve them. And that's part of the reason why I'm asking you to only think about 1 to 3 goals. If you've got 4, 5, 6, 10 goals, our likelihood of achievement decreases significantly the more things that we try to do at the same time. There's a lot of great science on this, and the more we can zero in on a few specific goals and work really hard on those, the better our chances are of actually achieving them. And I want us to achieve our goals. I don't want us to set 20 goals and then achieve none of them. 4 months from now, we'll meet again, we'll chat about this, and we'll pick new goals. So like, if you have this super long list of goals and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't wanna pick only a few of these, like I totally get that, that's fine. We will come back to them later. My 2 goals are to lose 10 more pounds, which this goal may vary. Like I may stop before 10 pounds. I may lose 10 pounds and be like, I have more to lose. It's really hard to tell when you're just looking at yourself how much fat you would need to lose to reach like your kind of goal physique and like fitness level. But really, the goal behind the goal here is that I would like to have visible abs. I don't know if I'm gonna wanna keep them once I have them because I don't know what it's gonna take for me to get there and what my maintenance level would be. I might get there and be like, this sucks. I don't like being this lean and I actually wanna gain some fat. and that would be fine. But it is something I've always wanted to have. It's a physique goal that I've always had. I know many people have a goal to do that as well, so I thought it could be cool if I documented the journey and shared the reality of like, what did I actually have to do and give up and sacrifice to get there? What was the experience actually like? Because that's a question I have. Like, I wish more people documented the journey of getting that lean, because I feel like there are a lot of people who show up on their social media and they're already that lean, which is great. But like, I would love to see someone go from like a more normal looking frame and body fat percentage to that level of leanness and like see what it really takes. So I want to document the journey. Let me know if you have feedback on the name. I'm thinking Project Abs, which like, I know that sounds like so douchey, like trust me, I know, but that is like the whole project. Like that's the whole point, is that I want to try and get visible abs. I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to lose all 10, because I would love to stop dieting, to tell you the truth. My next goal I'm really scared about, but really excited about, and if I'm able to do it, that would be crazy. I want to post 3 long form videos on YouTube every single week for 3 months. I know, we're talking about a 4-month year, but I just like the idea of having a 3x3, 3 videos a week for 3 months. And at that point, I can assess and see if I want to continue for another month or if I want to, switch things up. So if you're going through this and like 4 months feels too long, I mean, you can pick any time period you really want. I do think somewhere in the 2 to 4 month range is probably reasonable, because you want to give yourself enough time to actually be able to achieve what you set out to do, but not so much time that you get that like really long middle period. This is ironic because I was complaining about the quarter system previously, but this is a huge goal for me. And if I can achieve it, that would be a lot of videos. Okay, that is it for our reset section. And now we're going to get into our last section, plan. The first question is, how are we going to track progress for each of our goals? So for my fat loss goal, the way I'm going to track progress is I'm going to do daily weigh-ins, and then I record them in MyFitnessPal just so that I have as much data as possible. I'm going to start doing weekly measurements and progress photos. I think they're super helpful to tell a more complete story, because the scale does not tell the full story, right? We have muscle, water weight, fat, etc. There's lots going on in there. And for my 3 video goal, I'm going to create a little Notion tracker to track progress in there. There are so many different ways that you can track progress. Like, you can do it digitally, you can have a physical notebook or a sticky note that you keep somewhere, whatever is going to keep you motivated. What gets measured gets managed. There's a lot of evidence that weighing ourselves daily can actually help us to lose fat, just probably because of that reminder of our goals and that fast feedback loop about how we're doing. For each goal, we're going to list out the specific steps that we need to take to get closer to that goal. These could be daily habits, weekly tasks, or even smaller milestones that you want to hit along the way for that goal. So the steps that I'm going to take for my fat loss goal are to track my calories daily. That's something I've been doing for a few months now, and it's been so helpful for me. If it's not already live, I will link it when it is live. I'm doing a video on tracking calories and all of my like tips and tricks, how to make it not suck. So if you're interested in checking that out, it'll be linked. I'm going to create a game plan for special occasions, events, dinners, parties, out with friends and family and my boyfriend. That way I can stick to my nutrition goals no matter what I'm doing. I'm going to try to hit my calorie burn goal every day and stay as active as possible doing activities like hiking, walking, pickleball, even though I'm super bad at it, because those will help me to kind of accelerate my goals by burning more calories per day. For my 3 videos per week goal, I'm going to be doing weekly planning so I can figure out which videos I want to make and kind of schedule everything in that I need to do within the week. I also know that I need to stay focused during the day and stop procrastinating on editing. I also know that time blocking each day will be super helpful for me so that I know when I need to film to get the best lighting, when I should be editing, etc. So just taking a few minutes at the start of every day to plan everything out so that I can stay on track, I think is going to be essential. And my last thing is that I need to not be a perfectionist. This goal is so important to me, and I want to train myself out of my perfectionism with videos a little bit and kind of find that middle ground of like something that's really high quality and valuable and something I'm proud of, but also something that I don't spend a ridiculous amount of time on. I have a little checkbox for everyone watching, and myself included, to schedule weekly or monthly, ideally weekly though, check-ins on your goals. So set them in your calendar, set an alert or reminder. If we have these check-ins and even just spend a couple minutes thinking about our progress towards our goals, we can actually assess how we're doing and make adjustments. So if we're not checking in, then it's easy to fall off track, forget what we were even trying to do. Now for each goal, we're going to create a plan or system that we can use to achieve that goal. So for my fat loss goal, that's going to include for me daily calorie counting, continuing to track my progress, and then also hitting my daily move or calorie burn on my Apple Watch goal. For my 3 videos per week goal, I'm going to be using the weekly planning like I mentioned, the daily time blocking, and I'm gonna be checking in frequently on the goal. So I think I'm probably gonna do it at least once a week, maybe twice or 3 times, because I know the more often I check in, the more likely I am to do the things I need to do to achieve the goal. I also want to update my Notion templates for video creation because I think anything I can do to streamline my video creation process will help me to achieve that goal. Our very last prompt is to list out the obstacles we think we may face trying to achieve each of our goals and plan out solutions to those obstacles. There's a lot of really cool science on this that essentially when we forecast the obstacles and come up with a solution, it increases our likelihood of achieving our goals significantly. And it's so quick and easy to do. It's totally worth the time investment in my opinion. So for my fat loss goal, I know the main thing that I need to think about is just staying on track when I'm out at events. My game plan is that I'm gonna make sure not to restrict leading up to any of these events and to go in full. So I'm gonna have like a protein shake, a light snack, something before I go, so I can go into the occasion clear-headed and be able to make choices that align with my goals, because I already feel full and satisfied from the snack and the protein that I had before, and I've kind of got my bases covered. I'm also gonna try and stay hydrated because I know that can definitely help, at least for me, with my appetite. For my video posting goal, if I fall off track, my plan is to just pick back up the next week. So I've thought about this a lot. I'm probably gonna max myself out at 3 videos a week because at least right now, unless I like hired an editor or I get super fast at editing, I'm not gonna try and overdo it because I want to actually be able to make it sustainable. And if I'm finding that I can't create 3 videos per week consistently, like if I'm missing weeks over and over, I'm gonna try to get creative with finding lower lift videos to make. So maybe I can make videos about things I'm already really familiar with and I don't need to research very much. Or maybe I can make videos that are a little bit shorter and take less time to edit. Or maybe I can find a way to speed up something in my process. I really want to keep the goal at 3 videos per week, and if I'm not able to achieve that, I want to change something else, not the goal. I just don't think I'm going to improve at making videos and make better content unless I get a lot of practice in. So that's part of the reason I'm setting this goal. And that is it. We are done with our goal reset. I really hope that you worked through these prompts or at least just spent a few minutes thinking about them, because goal setting and planning is one of the most transformative things that we can do for ourselves and our lives. Having a goal, a target to aim for, it is so important. And there was a time in my life where I wasn't setting goals, and it's unbelievable to me that I spent so long not doing that. So if you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, I highly recommend it. It can be so transformative. So I would love for this to be the moment that changes everything for you. Like, I would really love that. So we have our list of goals, and if any of those goals are health, fitness, or wellness related, I'm gonna link a playlist of videos that I recently released where I have 75-day challenges in fitness, nutrition, and wellness. So if you want any inspiration on tools and tips and different things you can do to improve in any of those 3 areas, then you might enjoy those videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you'd like to see more from my channel, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time.